Okay, we will continue from last week. Let me create a solid shape. Let me create a black color rectangle. Okay, today we're going to learn how to apply more than one color on our shape or our drawing. So over here, I have just one solid black. As you can see here, this is one solid black. To apply more than one color, for example, black, I want it to dissolve to white. Okay, this is called gradient. Right, so please take down note. Please write down all the notes so that later you can do it yourself again and you can refer back. Okay, this is called gradient. I want to apply one color transition to another color. So to do that, we have three methods. Okay, it's the same, but it depends on which method you prefer. Let's bring up my gradient panel. Right, gradient panel, window, gradient. Okay, the first method to apply gradient, if you look at the bottom of the fill and stroke icon here, the most left is the color or the fill, and the one in the middle is gradient. So all you have to do is just press V, okay, for the black arrow, left click on the shape, and click on this gradient. Instantly you will have this gradient here already. Okay, so now this shape has a gradient. If you want to change it back to solid, just left click on the solid color. Alright, that's one of the method. Another method is to use the panel straight away. Over here, you can see three icons. We have linear gradient. Okay, linear means straight line. Okay, from left to right, top down, or top left to bottom right in a straight line. Radial means circle. Okay, in a circular way, circle shape. And the third one, freeform gradient. For this, you have to explore yourself. I'm just going to cover these two today. All right. So linear gradient. Let's try it out. Left click. Same thing. You will have this white to black. If you look at the panel here, you can see this dot here, this white and black. If I move this dot or this stop, let's call this a color stop. Okay, this white color stop and this black color stop. If I move it here, you can see it instantly changes the position according to where I set. You can pull the top slider here to change the way it blends with the other color. Okay, now this is black and white. I want to apply color to it. So left click on this stop. Okay, left click. You can go to the color panel. Okay, bring up your color panel. And the first thing that you'll notice is that the color panel is only white and black. Okay, you can see it's only a it's a grayscale ramp. So to turn this back into a color preview like this, the color mode, at the top right corner of the color panel, click this menu. Okay, this menu is called a hamburger menu. Very cute name. Okay, hamburger menu. Last week you learned about kebab menu. This is hamburger menu. Wait until you see the meatball menu. We have meatball menu also. Okay, click on the hamburger menu and select either one of these, RGB, HSB, or CMYK. You'll get the color spectrum like this. The difference between HSB, CMYK, and RGB is that if you use CMYK, you can see the color is more washed out. Okay, that's how CMYK works. So if you're working on printing materials, printing artwork, you want to get a more accurate color to that you can see when you print it out, then you use CMYK. If not, I would highly recommend you to use HSB. HSB stands for hue, saturation, and black. Hue basically means the different spectrum of color, like the hue of the rainbow. Okay, like the red, orange, yellow, green, teal, blue, purple, magenta. Those are the hue, the different hue of color. Saturation basically means how sharp is the color, how rich is the color. Like the red can be a super sharp red, the pure red. Or you can add some white color to it, it becomes less saturated. Okay, if you desaturate a color 100%, that means it's either black or gray or white. Okay, so saturation is the amount of color. and black is straightforward, black. Okay, to let you understand more about HSB, why I use HSB and not CMYK. Okay, in the menu of the hamburger menu, if you click on show option, you can see this slider over here, HSB slider. Whenever I want to change my color, it's a lot easier for me to tweak the color that I want. Let's say I want a 100% sharp blue color. You can just tweak on the hue and you get the color that you want. If I want to add a little bit of black color, you can straight away use the B, the black, and add black color to it. Or you want to add some white color to it, you can just pull the slider towards the left side like this. So it's sort of like mixing your watercolor or your poster color. Like you add a little bit of white color, a little bit of black color. It's a lot easier to get the color that you want. Like more precise color. Compared to CMYK, you are actually mixing the cyan, magenta, and yellow. So you need to have a very good sense of color. Like you understand that, okay, I need to mix how many percent of cyan and magenta and yellow in order to get like green color. Okay, so this one you need a lot of practice. Depends on which field you're working in. Like if you're doing in the printing business, you do a lot of printing, then you might be more familiar with CMYK. But for me, I do a lot of digital artwork, digital work. So HSB is a more straightforward color slider for me. So that's why I use HSB. Okay, now let's get back to here. This black and white gradient. I want to apply color to my gradient. So all I have to do, okay, let me redot this thing here. So all I have to do is select this white color and just left click on the color spectrum. Let's say on the red color here. And then left click on the black color and you just do the same thing. Go back to HSB and then set the color that you want. Like this. So now I have a 2 gradient square. Okay, 2 gradient color. If you want to have another color in the center, let's say green, all you have to do is just put your mouse cursor underneath the gradient slider. Just left click. You'll see the plus icon there. Then you can change the color. If you want more, then you click more. Okay. And let's say I accidentally clicked too much already. I want to delete the color stop. Very simple. Just left click and press the trash bin icon. Or hold down left click and pull it down. Hold down left click, pull it down. You can delete this color stop as well. Alright. Okay. And then in the gradient panel, let's explore more. There is this attribute here called angle. This is where you can change the direction of the linear gradient. Let's say I want top left, slowly dissolve to the bottom right. You can set it over here. And then if you play with radial gradient, let's say change to radial gradient. So you can see it's in a circular shape. Okay, you can change the gradient accordingly. Okay, this is in a circle shape. You can also change the circle shape into an oval shape. Then you can rotate it. You want to add another color. Okay, so that's radial gradient. So these are the very basic steps to create gradient. One more last step to create gradient. It's the same thing, but see which one you prefer. Okay, let me change back to the basic color. You can actually use the preset here. Just left click, choose based on the preset that you want. Okay, just left click and you get the preset. Then you can actually start from there. Okay, let's say I want to create a gradient again. Let me make it black and white. You can use the gradient tool in the toolbar. The shortcut key is G. G for gradient. Just left click the gradient tool and just left click on the shape. You will get the exact same thing. You even get the slider on the shape. Like this slider, right? It's exactly the same one. If you update over here, the slider here will update as well. So you can move it around. You can adjust the position. You can rotate it over here. Or you can even left click drag the gradient to however you want. Okay, so this is how you use gradient. Very straightforward. Okay, still got one more thing. Okay, let's come back to gradient here. Let's make this black solid. Right, let's say you have an image, a picture, or maybe another artwork like this, one red and this color. Okay, I want to create a gradient for this. On the left side, I want exactly this color. On the right side, I also want this color, the exact same color. So what I don't want to do is, I don't want to select this and then go and find the color. I try to guess like which color it is. So it's not very accurate if you want to like find it like this. So at the bottom here, you can see that there's this icon. This called color picker. Okay, this tool called color picker, or in another more common name is called the eyedropper tool. Eyedropper tool. All right. You can select the point like this color, this red stop. Okay, let me change back to another color first. Okay, so I select this, select the eyedropper tool or the color picker, and just left click on the color that you want. Okay, same thing here. I left click on this, select, while selecting the eyedropper tool or the color picker, left click on the color that I want. So you can pick or copy the color from an image, from another artwork. You can do all that. Okay, one last thing about eyedropper tool. Okay, this eyedropper tool or this tool here that is inside this gradient, you can use this to color pick color, right? Okay, eyedropper tool. If you go to the toolbar, there's another eyedropper tool here. This is the main eyedropper tool. Shortcut key is I for ice cream. Okay, this eyedropper tool here. Okay, pay attention. This one take note and remember, this one is very important. Any drawing or painting software, editing software you use, basically almost any software you use, okay, there will be an eyedropper tool for you to copy color. Photoshop, Corel Painter, After Effects, Premiere, Procreate. In all those software, eyedropper tool, you only use them to color pick. We call it color pick, okay? To color pick the color. You can copy the color only. But in Illustrator, the eyedropper tool can copy or can pick a lot more things than just color. Okay, let me show you what I meant. If you double click on the eyedropper tool, you will get this eyedropper option. Okay, inside here, right, you can see, you can set what you want the eyedropper tool to copy. You can copy the transparency, the opacity. You can copy the weight of the stroke. You can copy the weight of the stroke means the size of the stroke, okay, the thickness. You can copy the cap. You can copy a lot of things. Okay. So whenever you use eyedropper tool in Illustrator to copy the color, make sure you hold down Shift key. Okay, let's say this one, right? I want to get the green color. If you press I and use this eyedropper tool here, can you see my cursor? It has become an eyedropper tool. Make sure you hold down Shift key and then left click to get only the color. If not, this is what happened. Okay, let's say I have a black solid. Okay, let's change this shape, this color, red color with a purple outline like this. And then I put 50% opacity. Okay, so when I select the shape, this one, I use the eyedropper tool. Let's say I just want to copy the original color. I just want this color only. If I hold down Shift and left click, okay, wait, make sure you select the fill. Okay, hold down Shift, left click. I will get the original color, not the one that is transparent. Right now, this one looks faded because it's transparent. But if I just press left click, I don't hold down Shift, this is what happened. It will copy the opacity, it will copy the transparency. Okay, even if I use another shape, like circle shape. Okay, let's say this is the black color, circle. Eyedropper tool, I left click. Can you see? It copies the transparency, it copies the color, the stroke thickness, it copies everything that I set over here. Okay, so last reminder, hold down Shift key whenever you want to eyedrop or color pick something. Okay, hold down Shift, makes it into a habit. Alright, so that's it for this demo on this part. I will stop here. So now open up your checklist. Just follow the tasks one by one. Okay, all these just now I showed already, very straightforward. Some of the tasks I already put the notes there so you know what to press during what. Okay, try to complete task number 1 all the way to number 8. Once you're done, check the boxes and then press the raise hand icon.